Thank you. And let us know when we're live on Facebook. And
We should be live.
hi, guys. Hi, everyone.
It says live, right?
Yeah, it does say live.
All right, we got about a minute and a half before we go live. And when we have the callers on, just remember to introduce the caller. That way I know when to unmute the the phone lines and everything for them so they can hear you.
Okay, great. And hello, everybody on Facebook. We're just getting ready to go live. If you're on Facebook watching us.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to Wednesday. It's so exciting. We have Jules with us today. The beautiful Jules.
Hello, hello. I was just muting myself while I'm waiting for you to get started here. But yes, I'm very excited to be here with you ladies.
All right, we have what's going to feel like a very, very long 30 seconds. As soon as you hear that music, we are live.
Thank you.
Welcome to Seeing Beyond, Living Transformed with mediums Kelley Eckhardt and Cheryl Murphy. Over the next hour, you'll hear engaging conversations that will guide you in your own journey of personal growth and transformation. Now, here are your hosts, Kelley Eckhardt and Cheryl Murphy.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Seeing Beyond, Living Transformed. It's a beautiful Wednesday. We hope you're enjoying your day. Welcome to our episode 5, which is called Crystals, or Are They Just Rocks? Do you believe in healing powers? So that's our topic today. We are going to be introducing Jules Davis. But first, I'd love to say hi to Kelley. How are you today, Kelley?
Thank you, Cheryl. Hi, everybody. I'm Kelley Eckhardt, and we are very excited today to have Jules. I love crystals, and who doesn't love crystals? But, for those of you who don't know anything about crystals or who don't believe in their amazing abilities, listen in today. We're going to share with you everything.
Absolutely. I do want to tell you a little bit about Jules before we ask her to start talking about our topic today. Jules Davis has been certified at the master level of 12 systems of Reiki and is one of just 40 ICRT licensed Reiki master teachers in the world. So we're going to have a lot to talk to her about that. Jules has a wealth of knowledge in crystal healing techniques, and we're so excited for her to join us. There's so much about Jules that we love, everything. We want to hear about her and how she got started. Jules Davis, welcome to our program today.
Thank you so much. Yay. I'm so excited to be here with you ladies.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. And, we want to talk about crystals and their healing powers, but we also want to talk to you just about your amazing experiences, of course, with the spirit world. We know you're a medium, you're a Reiki teacher. We know you have an office in Redondo Beach now, I believe, is your new location that, you moved from the LA area down to Redondo. So you have a beautiful office that you teach so many beautiful classes in, but we really just want to hear about you and how did you get started and why are you?
What's your story?
Yeah, why are you so attracted to crystals?
Well, crystals, I think in regard to crystals in general, I've been interested in mysticism and the occult and spiritual practices, I think, my whole life. I was very lucky to have a mother who was very open to all of this stuff. So she raised us with crystals and spirituality and psychics and mediums and all astrologers and all of it. So I feel very grateful for that. But I was always interested in it because I had a special ability since as far back as I can remember, and was having experiences as a child with the spirit world. In regard to crystals, I was just always really attracted to them. We spent a lot of time in nature when I was a kid, and I would always collect rocks and things on our trips. But I was particularly attracted to the quartz types of rocks, that just grow by the rivers or are existing around the rivers and things of that nature. And when I was a young girl, I remember my dad buying me these little plastic containers that are from like the Natural History Museum that have all the different kinds of minerals stuck to them. And I still have them today, like the quartz and the sulfur and just all of it, mica, etc. And my mom was actually really into crystals too. And at one point she had a little boutique in Santa Cruz, California. She was selling crystals. So they've just always been there. I've always had them on me and always loved their energy. I've been gifting them to friends for years and years and years. And finally, when I started a little over 10 years, doing a lot of different trainings, a little over 10 years ago, I studied crystals and just got really, really interested in them and invested. So that's kind of how they came into my life or whatever.
I think that's beautiful. I like that you said how they came into your life, because when I had the crystal store, sometimes people would kind of walk in and they're like, I drove here like from Riverside, an hour drive, and I don't know why I drove to you, but you were calling me your store. And they're like, and I know I'm supposed to buy a crystal and I've never bought a crystal before. And they'll walk by and like a pendulum just swings out and hits them. I do feel like that they call us sometimes.
Yeah, they do. They do.
So among you teaching crystal healing certification, and we're going to get into that because you teach not only in person at your office, but you're teaching this class online. So I'm sure you're doing a lot of teaching. So we'll get to that, but just get back to the crystals. Like, what crystals is it true that crystals have healing powers? And I mean, what is the story with crystals? Why does everyone love crystals? Because they do, and they love certain types of crystals, right? Some people are drawn to different types of crystals.
Yeah, I mean, I know that crystals have become this big sensation again over the last few years, especially. You really see it with people talking about crystals online or even going to the big gem and mineral shows. Those have exploded over the last few years. But crystals have been used for centuries in different practices and different cultures and countries all over the world. So it's not new to work with crystals. Even, ancient Ayurvedic practices, Chinese medicine, the Romans, the Greeks, the ancient indigenous people of different parts of the world have been working with crystal energy, using them, whether it's for going to battle or for makeup or for protection or helping them go to the spirit world after they've transitioned. Different cultures around the world have been using crystals forever. So it's not like a new woo-woo, new age thing, but we think of it as such because it's gained popularity again amongst us human beings here. So I find personally people are getting more attracted to crystals because they're looking outside of the box. How can I heal myself? And they're very attractive. I mean, they're nice to look at, they're nice to feel, they're nice to have around. I, of course, believe, yeah, there you go, Kelley. This is just my little lot sitting here on the desk next to me, too. Like, you can't see.
No, we want to see more. We want to see more.
You can't see the whole room and everything that's beside me, but I feel, of course, not only do I believe that they have healing properties and healing powers, but there is definitely metaphysical reasons for why people are drawn to them and work with them. There's also mineral components of what they're made out of, which definitely resonate with us on a physical or a scientific level. And I think they just make people feel good. I mean, it's hard to put this like beautiful thing in your home and not think, I just look at crystals and I'm like, it's like dreamy for me. They just make you feel good.
For anyone, let me just say, for anyone that hasn't been to like a rock shop or a crystal convention, just going in a gem store, you can feel it, right? You actually feel a vibration, right? Or you feel something, you feel the colors, right? You feel the beautiful colors or a vibration, or you're even drawn. So isn't that what we always say to people is go with what you're drawn to, or that's really perhaps what vibrates with your own energy, right? That's
Sure.
what's resonating, right?
Yeah, even if a crystal doesn't feel good to you or uncomfortable, it may be that it's doing something healing for you, and that's why it feels uncomfortable around you too.
Amazing.
They are made out of all different kinds of mineral and metal components. And so some of us are just more sensitive to certain types of those things. Like something with a lot of copper, because there's a lot of energy in it. It's a conductor of energy. So sometimes crystals that have a lot of copper components can be a little bit too intense for some people, for example. So there's science-based
Yeah.
evidence that there's
Yeah.
something to all of this stuff. And then we just have our own personal experiences which lead us to picking them up. And
Right.
often if you're attracted to the same crystal over and over again, it's probably because the energy of that crystal or what it's good for is resonating with what you need around you.
Yes. And the other thing, I noticed, I do this, and so far I've established I'm the weird one, but I always smell my crystals because
Oh,
I smell things in them. And I now that you just mentioned the metals, and I smell the metals.
Uh-huh.
And I also am attracted to that certain ones for the scent. And I also smell like some of them have like almost like a fresh water smell, or like they've been around water. Do you know what I mean? Or am I just crazy to you too?
Well, no, the water is where a lot of them are found in veins where there was an old river or some kind of
I
water
can smell
source.
it. I mean, it's crazy, but the first thing I've done ever since I could remember, because I'm in a group of Venice Beach and there's crystals everywhere, I pick up a crystal and I'm smelling it.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't know I did that really until somebody called me out on at my crystal store, and I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, doesn't everybody do that?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can also smell the dirt. I love the stuff
Yes, the
that is
dirt.
like it just came out of the earth, that feeling. I
Yes.
mean, there's beauty in the polished crystals I'm holding up for those of you who can't
Yes.
see, like a carnelian heart right now, and there's definitely beauty in that. But I love the just like rough came out of the ground kind of feeling where you gotta rinse it off a little bit because it's covered in dirt and it just feels like fresh from the earth.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just want to say right now for everybody out there watching on Facebook, if you want to send us an email and you have a question about crystals, go ahead and send us an email. It's at questions@seeingbeyondradio.com. I know we already have one question. I'm going to read that in just a minute, but we will do taking some calls in a little bit here. We'll announce that and we'll give you guys the number. But if you want to send in emails with any questions that you have for Jules about crystals, how to use them, what if you have an ailment, maybe what would be the right crystal to get, or if you're curious about Reiki or learning about being a crystal healer, send us your emails and we can read them here on the radio for everybody else. And right now I do have a question from Sue Needham. She says, can we see which crystal is best for her? She carries a few around daily. And so I don't know if you can do that with just her name tuning into her, or would you rather, have her call in? I don't know, which is up to you.
I mean, if she's available and watching live and we can interact with her, that's great. Or I can
So,
just tune
so
in and
then,
see.
yeah. Well, I'm going to say, Sue, why don't you call in a little bit when we give the number, and I'll announce that for you guys. And I'll try to post it on my Facebook page. And everybody's Facebook page if I can.
One thing I'd
Yes.
like to ask both of you, because you're both parent. I mean, Kelley, you have a child, and Jules, you've worked with children about carrying crystals around. Because earlier you were sharing with me a story, Kelley, about your son and how
Yeah.
crystals were important. And Jules resonated. Jules knew that. I mean, Jules knows how important crystals are for kids. Can you share with us, Kelley, your
Yeah,
story?
so I have a sensitive child. I mean, a lot of you that follow me know this. He's an oddball just like me, and when he was little, he had a difficult time going on the field trips and being around the other kids and things like that because he got overwhelmed, overstimulated. He'd have meltdowns. We could never finish a field trip ever. I mean, it could not be, we needed self-led field trips for this child. So, and he had a lot of panic attacks, what I think were panic attacks now, but back then I just thought they were meltdowns. And so I know that crystals always made me feel better as a child, and I was always drawn to them. And so I started working with a lady who helped me and helped my son. She was a child psychologist, and she was like a healer also, and a medium, and crystal lady too, a lot like Jules. And so we started teaching him about the crystals, and he would carry around rose quartz, tiger's eye, and black obsidian in his pocket. And whenever he got the anxious feeling or felt like he couldn't sit still anymore, he would start to fiddle with his crystals. And then he started kind of handing out the rose quartz to people that he thought were angry or needed healing, which would kind of put them at a different, like would put them at ease. It was kind of funny, but he just knew. So I think that it really did help him. And, we put selenite under his bed because he wanted the spirits to leave him alone at night. And he kept having all these dreams. And so he told them, I've got the selenite, leave me alone. I'm going to bed now and I'm the boss. He would tell him, but it worked, it helped him out. We put crystals around the room, and it really helped my child. And I think it can help a lot of kids as well as adults. Mm-hmm. But, and you had a friend, Jules, right?
Yeah, I have a couple different friends, but the story I shared earlier was that I have a friend who, when their daughter was a baby, I gave her a big, huge chunk of rose quartz, not massive, but big, soft, tumbled, so it was safe to be around her where she slept. And, it was something that still to this day, she's 5 years old now, she still wants to take it with her on her trips. She feels like it's protection. It's something good to have around. And she talks to it. Actually, I didn't mention this earlier, but my friend said she talks to it. She has this whole relationship with the crystal. And I also have another friend who their son couldn't sleep. And so I started giving him crystals, and he's very sensitive, like Aiden in a different way, but very sensitive too, definitely aware of the spirit world. And, he started asking me for crystals. And then when he found that other people were going through something, just like Aiden, he'd be like, here, this crystal can protect you, or this crystal will help you feel better, and started giving them away. So then I'd have to give him, replacement crystals. But I just thought it was so cute that he really felt something from the crystals and working with the crystals.
They do. And they're so, children are so honest.
Yeah.
And they feel
and
it.
Sensitive.
If they're feeling it. Yes. If they're feeling it, it's, to me, it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hear, Kelley, you're mentioning tiger's eye, and then,
yes,
both of you mentioned rose quartz. So
well, we've got questions about that too on here on Facebook, I noticed.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Rose quartz is one of my favorite stones.
Too.
I feel like it's universally just one of the best stones you can have in your collection. And it's really inexpensive and easy to find because it grows all over the world. So that's a really good one to have.
So let me ask you this, because there's a couple questions on Facebook too. Mm-hmm. And some people are asking, what's the best which crystal is best for healing? That's probably a hard question to answer, right? Because it depends on what they're trying to heal. Is that correct?
Yeah, it depends on what they're trying to heal. But like I said, rose quartz could be universal since it helps to balance emotions. It's very good for anxiety or calming the energy. It can be really beneficial for sleep. And really overall healing emotional stuff is what we need to heal quite often. So that would be one of the stones that I feel is universal that you could use anywhere and for so many different things. But ultimately, yes, depending on what they're going through and what they need, there's a whole plethora. There's thousands of different kinds of specimens out there.
And what about for anxiety, Jules? What would you recommend for that?
Anxiety, rose quartz is one. It depends what the anxiety is coming from, but I'm a really big fan of calcite, which is calcium carbonate. It comes in almost every color, but for anxiety, I would use the blue calcite, green calcite, or the pink calcite, which is called mangano calcite. And those just have a very, very, very soft, soothing. I think I have some pink calcite next to me.
Oh, how beautiful.
If people can see that who are joining online, it's a light pink. It only is available in a couple different parts of the world, but blue calcite and green calcite is more readily available. I'm like, I do have some. I have one kind of green calcite here.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
So it depends where in the world it's mined from. So they might look a little bit different depending on where they come from. But those are really gentle and very soothing stones. And then like rose quartz, as I mentioned, would be a really good one too.
Well, what do you think of tiger's eye? Because we used to use that for my son's anxiety a lot.
Tiger's Eye, I feel, is really good for empowering people. So
Ooh.
helping to build their
Mhm.
confidence
Yeah.
and strength, inner strength, follow through, dealing with other people, boundaries, making big changes in your life. It can also be somewhat grounding for people too.
Yes.
So there would be benefits for anxiety through all of those kinds of things as well.
Yeah, I always thought, I wondered, it was his go-to for anxiety was the tiger's eye. He would take it when we went out to dinner and everything, and he'd always have it in his pocket. I mean, it was funny. And I thought, well, that was his own choice, and it worked for his anxiety. So maybe it was the grounding, because he was quite frequently not grounded.
Yeah, which the obsidian would have helped him with grounding,
Oh,
that
he always
other
had
stone
that
that you
too.
mentioned. Yeah.
Yes.
And when tiger's eye comes in different colors, but it's more commonly seen in the gold or the yellow variety, but it
Yeah.
does come in red and blue as well. And the different colors have different meanings or purposes. But, I sometimes feel anxiety in my stomach, which would be the solar plexus chakra area. So that tiger's eye is really good for that, and that
Oh,
yellow
and that's where
gold
he
color.
felt his.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some people feel anxiety more in their heart or their throat. So it really just depends. Like there are individual things, but there are definitely universal purposes for a lot of the stones too.
And here's a great question from Mary. She says, does a crystal have to be a certain size to work or help? I think it's a great question because
It's
Yes,
a
it
great
is.
question. And the answer is no. Like, work with what you have. When I teach people how to do crystal healing, I'm like, start with what you got. If you can afford a $3 crystal instead of a $30 crystal for that chakra or whatever, start there. You can always build upon your practice. But even to this day, I find benefit in having tiny stones because sometimes I make grids on people's bodies or crystal grids just in general for healing. And then you need different sizes. So they all have benefit. And even a tiny stone can give some relief or healing ability. And you can always get larger stones down the road if you'd like.
And I love that you mentioned crystal grids because I am like a total crystal grid junkie. And I
Me
love
too.
making grids. I
You're a
love them.
you're a crystal grid girl.
I
Yeah.
like crystal grid junkie. Like, I'm like
Crystal
hooked on them. But I think that they're amazing. And we used to do this thing in the crystal store when we had it. If something wasn't selling, we would make a crystal grid near the area for like prosperity and things like that. And we would choose, and I'm not lying, like all of a sudden everything in that area would just sell. It
Yeah.
was like we activated it and people were drawn to it now and they were buying everything over in that little area. It's quite interesting how it works. I
Yeah.
love crystal grids. I believe in them.
I do too. They definitely shift energy. Yes. Go
So
ahead, Cheryl.
Jules, let
Sorry.
me ask you. I know now. I mean, you guys just. I know. I have
We
more
get so
questions.
excited. You're animated
I
with the
know.
crystals, right?
So when you have a beautiful crystal and you have one that you can put in your hands, I mean, how do we heal ourselves with crystals? Do we hold it in our hands and
Good
pray?
question.
Do we put it on a chakra? Do we, keep it with us? As Kelly, what would you recommend?
Yeah, there are so many different ways you can use crystals for healing. They can be on display in your home or your nightstand if you're trying to sleep better at night. You can wear them as jewelry on your person, so on your body somewhere. I just recommend, depending on the stone, you'll need to clean it a little bit more frequently if you're wearing it because it's constantly absorbing your energy. Same thing if it's in your pocket or something of that nature. Ladies can stick them in other places and keep them close to our bodies. And there's also the ability to lay down and just place them on your body. Have a few different kinds of crystals nearby and place them on your body. I highly recommend, getting a set of stones that matches at least the 7 main chakras. That's like one of the easiest ways to do self-healing with crystals. And you would just place them on each of the chakras. So you could Google the 7 main chakras or just chakras in general. Usually it'll come up with some sort of an image so you can see where to place them. They start at the base of our spine and then go up to the crown of our head. And just place them on all of the chakras. Have your crystals nearby so it's easy to reach for them and then place them there. And then you can do a healing and just close your eyes, put on some music and relax for 30 minutes or something of that nature.
Amazing. It is amazing the way it feels. I do much prefer getting like an energy healing from somebody that's using the crystals and the sound bowls too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I do.
Such a
I
different.
combine, I mean, all of the modalities are very beneficial just on their own, but I love the combination personally of Reiki crystal and sound healing.
Me
And that's
too.
like how I do all of my energy healing sessions in person. Online, I usually do Reiki and crystals, sometimes a little bit of sound, but it's different with the
Yeah.
in person multisensory experience.
It's amazing, right? It takes me to another world.
Mm. So,
Yeah.
before we get into the Reiki, Jules, I do want to ask you about crystals still. Like, I know you probably do use them in your Reiki. That's one question. And then when I do purchase a crystal and I bring it home, I don't even know what cleansing means sometimes. I don't even know if I do everything with my crystals. I'm not sure what the best way to cleanse them, or I'm not sure if I need to activate them, or, how do I when I buy the crystal and I bring it home, and then how do I care for it? How's that? How do I care for my crystal?
Very good question.
Yeah, good question.
It came
I
out.
mean, they're pretty simple to cleanse. And if you want to cleanse them, there's different ways of cleansing, and you can Google online, and people have all different varying opinions about how to do that. My opinion is one of the best ways to cleanse them is actually with cold water. There are a few stones that are not water friendly, so if in doubt, don't put it in water. Some of those crystals would be like the satin spar, selenite, gypsum variety, the really soft stones. Anything that has a lot of sparkle on it, you don't want to put in water. But the majority of the stones that we'll be getting will be these polished, tumbled kind of stones, or even a bigger, rough stone, something like that. That can all go in cold water, and you just rinse them under cold water. It clears energy so fast. Another way is you can sage them with Palo Santo, smudge them with Palo Santo, sage, incense, etc. If you do have sound healing tools like singing bowls, you can use the vibration of sound to clear them. You could even chant with your voice if you don't have that. You could also use Reiki. If you're trained in Reiki, you can charge them up that way. So there's a whole bunch of different ways. And when you're cleansing them, all of those ways are beneficial as well for charging them up. So you could look at that as activating the crystals.
I love it.
But those are my favorite ways of cleansing and charging. There are more, but I think those are the most beneficial ways.
And what about some people use a pendulum?
Yeah, they use
what
a
do you think
pendulum
of
to
that?
choose a crystal or something like that. I feel like if you're attracted to a crystal, you can charge it and work with the energy of the crystal.
Okay.
Some people need to be in person and hold every single crystal.
Yes.
There is definitely value to that, but I've get big lots of crystals and I don't hold every single one, and I find benefit from everyone once I unpack them. So you can always charge it and bring it into your own kind of energy system. The moon is also really beneficial. Of course, the full moon can charge and cleanse your crystals.
That's
The only thing is that I know we need to take a break in a second, but the only thing is with the moon is if you leave them outside overnight, the sun will get them in the morning. So you just want to make sure that your stones are sun friendly. So things like clear quartz can get a little cloudy. Amethyst, rose quartz, those things can fade if they're exposed a lot to sun, not just one time, but over time they can get cloudy or fade.
Yes. So let me just go over this real quick because we're going to go on break here in just a minute. So after the break, you guys can start calling in, and we're going to take callers. The number is 888-346-9141. I did pin that on my Facebook. I can't get to both Facebook, Cheryl, so I don't know if you want to pin it on yours.
Okay. Yes, I will.
The number is 888-346-9141. And Cheryl, you want to say goodbye to everybody and be right
Yeah.
back?
I just want to tell everyone as we go to break, stay tuned. We're going to be taking, your calls live. We'll be answering questions if you want to email them in. We have the lovely Jules Davis with us talking about crystals and their healing powers. Next, on this next half hour, we'll be taking your calls. And then we want to catch up with Jules and find out about her Reiki, because she teaches Reiki and all of the modalities that she studied. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You are clear.
Thank you. So we're still on Facebook though. So everybody on Facebook, the number does get busy. Do not, get upset. We're sorry. So when you call in, if it's just saying busy or just if it's saying it's disconnected, it's actually busy, and just keep trying. It can only take so many and then the lines get full. And we will get to you guys as quick as possible. But when you're calling, if you have a question about the crystal, be prepared. If you want a reading, be prepared and tell us what, like, I want a mediumship or I want psychic. And let's have a specific question if it's psychic, or a specific person you want to connect to if it's in mediumship. Okay? Get upset. We're sorry.
You have it. Sorry. So everyone, call our number. We're at 888-346-9141. As Kelley said, look, if you don't get through, just try to call back during this next half hour. Ask us a question about crystals, or maybe you have a question for Jules Davis around learning Reiki from her, or learning about crystals from Jules. She does teach online and in person. So just stay with us. We'll be right back. I'm going to see if I can write this number in for you guys.
And you know what I'm doing? I'm putting it as my name on here.
Oh, how beautiful.
Just thought about that. Renamed myself. Look. Right there under my thing there. You can see the number, guys.
And I just pinned
We got
it.
about 30 more seconds and we'll be back once you hear that music.
Thanks. And
Thank
Kelley,
you.
do you want to do the?
No, you do it.
Okay.
I feel stuttery today.
Yeah, we're going to get some healing from Jules today.
Yeah.
Well, we love that.
You're listening to Seeing Beyond, Living Transformed with Kelley and Cheryl. If you have questions for the hosts or guests, you can join us on the show at 888-346-9141. That's 888-346-9141. Now let's get back to the show. Here again are Cheryl and Kelley.
All right. Welcome back, everyone, to Seeing Beyond, Living Transformed. I'm Cheryl Murphy. I'm with Kelley Eckhardt and Jules Davis. Kelley and I are having such a great time with our radio show. We do want to thank Voice America and the Empowerment Channel. It's been such great an experience for us. And then we get to have wonderful people on like Jules Davis. We've been talking about crystals and their healing powers. We want to go ahead and take your calls or your email questions. So go ahead and start calling in. Kelley, can I hand it to you? Do we have calls?
We don't have any calls yet, but I have a question right here from Marie Lyons. She says, what crystals should I choose to help me with my health, to get healthy and stay healthy? What crystals should I choose to help me find my new address and listen to our creator who brings my new address to me? Thank you. Namaste, Marie.
Okay. Well, that's like a two-part. Right?
I know, right? And we have one caller on hold right now.
Okay. All right, Marie. So for health and overall health stuff, any green stones I really recommend for health. And bloodstone is coming in for you. Bloodstone is good for the immune system, for the circulatory system, for anything to do with blood. And I do feel like there may be some kind of... Anyways, I can't diagnose anything here today, but there might be a reason that you would investigate bloodstone. So that is the one that's coming in specifically, but really any green stones are good for overall health and healing. I'll also say for finding your way with the Creator into your new home. The stone angelite is also coming in for you, which is a really nice stone for getting downloads. I do feel like you have a connection already with the angels, and I feel like this one will help you to just bring that into reality, of communication, or assist in your communication. So that's my feedback of what's coming in for you today, Marie.
Thank you, Jules. And I'd like to introduce a caller, Bridget. Bridget, are you on the line now?
Hi, yes, ma'am.
Hi, Bridget. How can we help you?
Hi. I was wondering if there was any messages from Spirit or my husband or whoever wants to reach
All right,
out.
sounds good. You want to take this, Cheryl? You smiled real quick.
I just felt so much love with your husband, Bridget. Was this a gentleman that you guys were really close? Like, I feel like he took care of you.
Yes.
He feels like the big teddy bear, and he feels like,
Yeah.
do you understand that?
Yes.
And I feel like you talk to him all the time, and I know he's listening. And does he still have his chair? Do you still have his chair that he sits in all the time?
Yes.
And I just feel like his picture's right there, and you're just having a great conversation with him, and he's just relaxing and kicking back and watching TV with you and having a conversation.
I do. I still play his movies.
Oh, how
I've been
lovely.
doing
And
that lately.
isn't that lovely? And look, I just heard birthday. I don't know. Do you understand a birthday of his coming up? Or-
He just had a birthday in April, but all of our kids are having birthdays. Like we have one every month.
I
So,
want to tell you, and well, I'm happy for you. Thank you for having such a great family, because your husband just feels so adorable. But that's what I have for you. He's just saying, look, now that the weather's getting warmer and we're all getting out, like he does want you to kind of get out and start seeing more of the family, right? But I know that they all would gather, you guys all gather for certain occasions. But I know that he's here, and he just, wishes
yeah.
you so much love, Bridget.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
I always try to reach out to him. I do feel him, and I try to keep the communication line open and try to get any message I can.
Well, you definitely have that open heart. So thank you so much for your phone call today.
Thank you, Bridget. And that was beautiful, Cheryl. So I'm going to introduce the next caller, and that is Carmen. So hello, Carmen. Welcome to our show.
Hi, ladies. How are you?
Hi, Carmen.
Hello.
So I was thinking, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah. Cheryl, you hear her?
Perfect.
I do. You sound really good, Carmen. Yeah. What is your question?
I was hoping to see if you could connect with my mother.
Oh.
Jules, did you want to take one?
Okay, sure.
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, totally.
You don't have to if you don't want to. I just thought maybe you might want to do one.
That's okay. I
Jules is
did
amazing.
feel, Carmen, with your mom, would you understand her to be a strong and at times silent type with your mom?
She was there. Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. I feel like, it's not that she was always silent, because I do feel her to be chatty at times too, but I do feel like when she was going through something, she would be quite reserved emotionally and contained. Do you understand that, Carmen? I feel like she's talking about her health. Would you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. That's not a resounding yes. I'm not sure if that's a yes or a sort
no,
of
no,
yes,
I
but
just
I'll
had to
take it.
think about it. Yes.
Okay. That's okay. I'm just listening because I it's okay to say no to something for all of us, because we like to make sure that we get it right for spirit. But I just feel like she was a tough cookie, a strong woman. That's the feeling that she gives me. And it was important for her to impart strength upon you, Carmen, I feel, when you were growing up. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, because she's just giving me the feeling of she wasn't always gentle. Would you understand that as well about her, Carmen?
Well, I don't know. She was a pretty gentle lady. Um, I mean, yeah, I think she was pretty gentle. I mean, I guess obviously she would be a little bit firm, but she was a pretty gentle soul.
Okay.
But like when she was sick, she was very quiet about it. She didn't really put that on the people, you know.
Right. I think that's the strong silent type that I was getting from her. But I
Yep,
do feel
exactly. That's.
yeah, there is just this feeling of I wasn't always gentle. In some ways, I feel to give you strength or to help you be strong in your life. I'm not sure if Cheryl and Kelley are tuned in as well, but are either of you blending?
I am, and I'm getting that your mom was strong and tried to instill that strength in you because she knew that life could be hard because you both are very sensitive, is what I feel. Do you understand this?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah,
that's where I feel that the strength and that maybe it wasn't always easy for her to be like that, but she had to teach you sometimes. Yeah. And she feels also like she was an amazing lady. Like I feel like the two of you had so much fun together and you guys could laugh together. That the way you were with your mom was maybe not the way she was with everybody. It was like the two of you were not just mom and daughter. You had a good friendship as well. Do you understand this?
You could be very silly with her. She could be silly.
Yeah. And she loved that. I feel like she wasn't like that with everybody, but with you, she could be. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. She's yeah, I mean, gosh, she's just so special. She was very special. Actually, her birthday's coming up here June 6th, and that's why I really wanted to connect with her. And I just did something very special with a project that I did, and I was hoping that she actually could see what I had done in honor of her. So I was hoping that she would pick up on that.
Oh, well, we just, these are quick readings on the show. So we don't have time to get all into them. Sometimes it comes through, but sometimes it doesn't. But we do thank you for calling in. It's so nice of you. Thank you. And I think we're gonna,
ladies.
yeah, we're gonna introduce our next caller here. So bye, Carmen.
Are we going to take one more call for right now? Who do we
Yeah.
have next? We have April. Hi, April. How are you today? And what's your question?
Hi, how you doing? My
Great.
question is, I went to someplace where I got read. It's for stones and crystals like that, and he tried to read me, and he said that somebody says that a spirit didn't like him, the person that was reading me. So I was wondering, and he goes, "Yeah, she really don't like me." So I know it was a female. I was wondering if there's anybody that that is protecting me or what that was about.
Well, I know I have my theory because I'm just going to state this, and maybe not, I don't resonate with every other medium out there. I don't believe that there would be a spirit that didn't like you. Because spirits are all full of love, and to me, it's an amazing thing. And the way I look at it is that when we're born, we're pure, we're innocent, and we're beautiful, right? And as a human,
Yes.
we develop the hate, and those are like human traits. The spirit world's full of much more like love and empowerment, and they want to help us, and they're like, it's a beautiful thing. I've never met or experienced any kind of negativity, and a spirit not wanting to talk to you or not wanting to connect with that medium, that might just be maybe the medium didn't resonate and didn't know how to connect with that spirit,
I agree.
more than not had nothing to do with the spirit. But I do believe that our loved ones in spirit help us choose our mediums. So maybe you found this person, but you weren't really following your gut and you chose the wrong person. It doesn't mean that they're not a medium, just means that they weren't the right one for you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
because you're just surrounded by a lot of loving spirits in the spirit world. I feel that you're surrounded by so many that watch out for you, look after you. You have a strong connection to me with the angelic realm as well. So I don't think that there's anybody that's out to get you, only love from the other side. Yeah. And you have
Okay.
a mother in spirit?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, and she's always watching
Yeah.
over you. She loves you very much.
Yeah, I feel aunts or something too. There's like a whole bunch of women around you, April,
Yes.
in the spirit world.
Yeah. My mother's side had almost all girls, like 6 girls. My mother had 6 girls. Yeah, there's a lot of
of women.
aunts
A lot of strong personalities in those women, but nobody that's coming through with a feeling of hate or something like that. So that's
Okay.
also, I agree with what Kelley said. And it's possible that the person who was giving you the reading just maybe wasn't picking up on the energy in that way, or feeling maybe the protective qualities of your loved ones in spirit. Because there is like an aunt that I keep feeling really strong for you, April. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
I know you said your mom had, there was 6 ladies in her side of the family, but do you have an aunt in spirit?
Yes, I do. I have some in spirit. Yeah.
Okay. And would you understand them to be quite of protective and actually have a very nice, had a nice relationship with you when they were here on the physical realm?
There's a couple of them that my aunts were very nice and
Close to you, or
yeah.
just feel protective. Like, again, you have like an army of women around you. So I would just tune into them and say thank you, because they feel very much like part of your spirit team. Like Kelley was saying that you have angels around you. I feel some of these angels are your ancestors and family in spirit. Is there any connection with the Caribbean, or do you have any family?
No, actually, I am Oneida, and so my ancestors would be in New York.
Mm-hmm.
In New York. Okay. I don't know. I'm feeling like an Afro-Caribbean or a Latino or something connection. So I'm not sure if that resonates with your ancestry, but Oneida, is that native?
Yes, it's Oneida. It's from the Haudenosaunee and the Iroquois. It's from Iroquois.
Oh, okay. All right.
So yeah, we originally came from New York. Some went to Canada and some went to Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm from Wisconsin.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure where the Caribbean stuff or the Afro-Caribbean stuff is coming in, but there's some kind of spiritual practices I feel strongly about in your family. So maybe it's the native stuff that I was misinterpreting, but I do feel like these women have a strong spiritual connection to you, and I'm just going to leave you with that. But I would summon on their power, because they definitely are very available for you.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you, April, for calling. We certainly enjoyed speaking with you. And thanks, Jules, and thanks, Kelley, for that lovely reading.
Thanks, guys. So, Cheryl, what would you like to do? Do you want to take another caller? Or are we going to move on to the Reiki? What are we going to do?
I've been wanting to talk to Jules about her Reiki, just to ask everyone to hold on. We might take another call. Just hang on with us. But crystals and Reiki, Jules, do you use crystals in your Reiki healing practice? And
yeah, they're separate modalities, but I use them together because I feel like they complement each other really, really well. And there's a nice synergy between the energy of the crystals and the energy of Reiki. So Reiki is an energy healing modality as well as crystals. So crystals can be used in energy healing. And I feel the reason why they work so nicely together is they're not competing energies. So Reiki is a channeled energy healing technique, so that the practitioner gets trained into how to connect with this energy and channel the energy. And then the crystals have their own energy, which comes from nature or the nature spirits or the earth, whatever way you want to look at that. And they just are very compatible. So I use them together very often. I teach them as separate modalities, but often if you take a crystal healing course with me, I talk about how to integrate the two together. Reiki is separate, so I just teach Reiki in that, but we do teach a little tiny bit about how how to use crystals for healing, including like for distance, world peace grids, distance grids, etc., distance healing.
It's great. I just want to tell everyone that Jules's website, because if you guys can sign up for her newsletter, which is her website is healingwithjules.com. So Healing with Jules, and that's Jules. So healingwithjules.com. She does a lovely full moon meditation. It's online, and also a new moon meditation that's online. And it's all Reiki healing. So if you want to experience Jules and her Reiki healing, sign up for her newsletter on her website, find out what she's doing. I've attended many of your new moon and full moon meditations. They're just lovely, Jules. I can't thank you enough for doing them.
Thank you. Yeah, that's something I started during the pandemic, the earliest stages of the pandemic, to offer people a safe space and also some healing, since we were in this crisis all of a sudden. And I've continued it for over 2 years now. And I also started to finally offer some in-person meditation sound baths for people that are in the LA area. They can come in person, and I do Reiki, crystals, and sound healing together in group environments. And then I teach. So I'm, as you mentioned at the beginning of the program, I'm a licensed teacher, which means that we went through about 1,500 additional hours of training through the International Center for Reiki Training, a program with them. And we were mentored, and we had all these requirements that we had to meet in order to become licensed. So we're not licensed by a government body, but we're licensed by the organization, which is headed up by William Lee Rand, who's a pretty huge part of Reiki and having Reiki be spread in the world today. He writes a lot of manuals. He's very knowledgeable on the subject. He's done a lot of research on it. So he's the head of the organization. And I teach all levels of Usui, Karuna, and Animal Reiki for the ICRT as an individual teacher, but we're part of the organization. So that's why I'm licensed by them.
I think
That's
it's
amazing. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Kelley, do we have time just for one more caller? Do you think we can put in one more, or are we?
Yeah. I think we have a few minutes.
A real quick one.
Is Bonnie still on the line?
Hi, Bonnie. Hi, Bonnie.
Thank you very much for the information on the crystals. I'm enjoying that, and it's really beneficial. But I was wondering if you could give me a reading and see if my granddaughter has a message for me.
Okay, we have just about a minute, Bonnie. So be really quick. But Jules or Kelley, maybe the three of us can tune in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just getting that you were really close to her. That's the first thing I get. I feel like you took care of her. Is that right?
Well, the proximity was really far. So, but she's my first grandchild.
Oh, go ahead, Kelley.
Well, I'm not sure if I'm connecting with her for sure, because I actually feel like I'm connecting with somebody that's not a small child, that they're older. Would you understand that? Is she a small child, or was she grown when she passed?
Well, she was grown, but also there was another individual that was grown that I did kind of I did when she was real little, take care of her, and then later in her life.
Okay, because I do feel like I'm connecting with somebody who was more of a young adult to 20s, maybe 30s. I feel like when they passed, that's what I feel like I'm connecting with. You understand this?
That would be my granddaughter.
And I feel like she was really, I want to say, kind of a go-getter in life. She did not like to sit still. She was always her mind was always going, always busy, wanting to go and make things happen and try to create her life. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And she was very stubborn. I feel like she was the one who had to learn everything the hard way, and nobody was going to tell her. Do you understand this?
That's true. Yes.
She had a sense of humor, and I know she liked to joke with you a lot, because I do feel like she's teasing, going, well, she's my grandmother, but she's just as stubborn as I was. And she's like, where do you think I learned it from? So I do feel like the two of you are a lot alike in that way, and you bonded because of this. But she was also brilliant. I want to say she was much smarter than she gave herself credit for. you know,
Oh yeah.
because she
That's
learned
true.
things really quickly. She was one of those like, do it and I learn it. And just a lot of love from her. She wants you to know I'm always with you. You're always talking to me. I'm talking to you too. Like I'm right there with you
Awesome.
always, she says. And she wants you to know that. And
Okay.
she watches over you.
Oh,
Okay. So a lot of
awesome.
love
That's
from her.
great.
And was it just her birthday in March? And if not, what
No,
was March?
no.
Because she's talking about the month
Uh,
of March. So I feel like there's
oh
something
gosh.
significant in that month. Maybe it was her mother's birthday.
No, I'm trying to think. Actually, if you're talking about maybe perhaps my sister, March was her daughter's birthdays.
Interesting. So I don't know if that's it. I just know I'm hearing the month of March is important and I feel like it's a birthday. So I do feel like your granddaughter's
Okay.
kind of acknowledging that. Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
maybe you'll figure that out what she meant. But a lot of love to her from you. Jules, did you want to add anything? I think we're gonna finish up after this.
Yeah, she just brought my attention to rose quartz, which we've talked about a lot on this show. And I feel like, Bonnie, this is something for you to use and also think of with her, or you hold it and think of her. Do you work with crystals at all, Bonnie?
I have crystals, yes.
Yeah, okay. Do you have a
And
piece of rose quartz that you...
oh, yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because she keeps bringing me to rose quartz. I feel like that also is getting my attention, that there were some emotional things that she was going through in her physical life here that weren't so easy for her. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
And I feel like she didn't have the best relationship with her mom, or they had some challenges or difficulties. Do you also understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I just feel like she's finding peace. That's what she wants me to share with you. She's finding peace, and she just sends you so much unconditional love. And so when you hold a rose quartz, maybe say a little prayer of connection, or let her know that you're thinking of her, because she's definitely very much present around you.
Okay, that sounds great.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Thank you for calling in, Bonnie. Sending you lots of love
Thank
from
you.
your daughter. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
We have just about a minute left, everyone. We just want to thank Jules Davis for being with us today. Her website is healingwithjules.com. And Jules, do you have any upcoming events you want to share with us?
Yeah, I teach every level of Reiki, like I said. So I always I have like a monthly level 1-2 class, which you can join in person or online. I will be starting to travel more, but for now, you can go to my website, healingwithjules.com, and all of my classes are going to be there. I also will have some more upcoming crystal healer certification classes, which you can attend online or in person, and those bi-weekly meditations that I do, and they're free, the online meditations, so you can join from anywhere in the world and experience Reiki.
And that is awesome. Thank you for coming on the show today, Jules. Everybody else, next week we'll be on here with the amazing Kimberly Meredith talking about her book. What is it?
Awakening to the Fifth
Thank
Dimension.
you. I'm having one of those moments. And we'll see you next week. And if anybody wants to connect with Jules, you know how to find her now. And she's also her website's on the comments and Facebook. Yes. Thank you, everybody.
Ladies.
Thank you, Jules, for coming in today. And thank you, everyone. This is Seeing Beyond Living Transformed. Make sure you join our community, the seeingbeyondradio.com website and the Seeing Beyond community. We'd love to have you. Thank you, everyone. Love to you. See you next week.
Bye, everybody.